We are going to work with vector artwork in Adobe Express. So here's my poster, my graphic that I got from Adobe Stock. So there's so much great artwork out there that if you can use someone else's artwork as a starting point, you can save yourself a lot of time. So if I go to the Adobe Stock homepage, search on images for wine, and then go to the filters and select vectors, you can see all the other artwork that people have done. So I chose to customize this piece, this collection of minimal vintage posters. There's the file number. Or download it from my Google Drive. So it was pretty easy to edit in Adobe Illustrator. I was able to use an image of Lobo and recolor the artwork. So Illustrator worked pretty easy for me, but I also used Photopea, which was a little more challenging. It let me resize the artboards, but then I thought it was almost easiest just to work directly in Adobe Express, right? With Adobe Express, you can import Illustrator files now, a new feature. So let's do it. Let's get some graphics like Sonoma State logo. I think I removed the background, so why don't we go to Adobe Express and open it up in Adobe Express. Edit image. Start from your image. Okay. Sorry, cancel. Plus button for a new document, plus button for square, and then drag in the image. And I kind of like to work with the background color being none. And so I don't like that white on the background of the logo. So let's kind of get it centered with the smart guides. There we go. Or and then once I get it centered, I can just hit remove background over here. And then I can download a PNG on my desktop. Maybe give this a name of Lobo Summer Demo and download it. Okay, so we got some kind of graphic that you want to lift the colors from, right? So the point of this is like if someone gives you some artwork and says, I want it to look like your branded colors, you can do it or change the colors. So, okay, so there's Lobo. I am going to download the Adobe stock file. And you can search for these kind of files too on sites like FreePic, right? So they let you filter by vector graphics. So if you come in to search for wine and you want vectors, you can search. And so it's not just Adobe stock. But while I'm here, let me download this one, re-download for free. And definitely you want AI, EPS, SVG, vector graphic, not JPEG. And download it to your desktop. I'll probably get an error message, keep both. And then I can open up the graphic in Illustrator by dragging it on to Illustrator, which I have open. All right, so Command 0. We got 3 different kind of artwork we could work with. I thought this one's kind of single tone. It's all reds, so it's easier to work with. When you have like 2 tones, I only have 3 colors from the Lobo logo, so I'm going to eyeball off those and this rectangle. And then I'm going to go to the artboard over here, the artboard tool, this one. If you don't see if your toolbar is different, it might be down here as well. All right, so it's kind of like the crop tool. It just lets you resize. You should get a little magnetic sticking there to resize, so be careful when you resize each side. All right, so when you're done, you can switch to the selection tool. And now we're done, Command 0. All right, so now I'm going to bring in Lobo, the PNG with a transparent background. And And I want to create a new swatch group. All right, so let me go back to this double pointed arrow. If you don't have the options bar, you can go to Window, View, Window, and then Control bar is what this options bar, control bar is called at the top. So just check Control. And so I'm gonna eyedropper like the dark blue of Lobo to get it in my swatch foreground color, my swatch fill color. And then I'm going to do a new swatch group, and I'm going to call it Lobo. And then I can drag the fill into the new folder or swatch group, and I can go back to eyedropper and I can select the medium blue. If you have a ton of colors, there's a way to automate this with if you do the image trace and convert it to vectors. The problem is this graphic's not vectors. So all right, so one more, do the white. It could be an off-white, so right, companies like to have specific branded colors. So all right, so I clicked again, change. All right, so if I could have done image trace, and then in the image trace commands, these presets, I think all we need is 3 colors. You can try the different presets and then expand. And then once you have this, now that it's vectors, then you can go like new swatch group. And I think it auto detects right from selected artwork, and it auto detects, the colors. So either the eyedropper tool or trace it and create the swatch group, because we're gonna go, let me, now that I'm kind of done with Lobo, I'm gonna turn the eyeball off for Lobo. So if you don't see swatches, sorry, you might have to go to Window Swatches, Window Swatches, and make sure that Swatches is checked. So Window menu controls the view, and these are called panels on the right here. Okay, so sorry about that. So next, if I meatball the red group or the image I have that I want to recolor, in the control or the options bar, there's this recolor artwork, which I should be able to also find as a menu command, recolor artwork under edit colors, recolor artwork. But I got it right here. So I'm going to do recolor artwork. And then now that we've saved a swatch, we can just come in here to the color library swatch group and choose Lobo. And my results weren't exactly what I wanted. It doesn't look bad, but if you want to come into advanced options, you can try kind of messing around and swapping some of these. So I want the reds. Now I'm kind of confusing myself, but the darker colors to be darker. There we go. That's what I wanted. All right, so you can mess around with some different color combinations. Okay. You could also go to the swatch and try dragging these guys around in a circle, and you could make it a different color, but I'm just going to hit escape and live with it. All right, so I got what I wanted. I saved the colors from my custom image, and then I applied those colors to the vector artwork. And now I'm going to do file save on my computer. And I can call this my, I don't know, recolored wine. Okay. All right, so I got it with Illustrator. If you don't have Illustrator, it kind of worked in Vectorpea, but it was kind of a pain as well. So let me go to Vectorpea and see what we got going on. So, all right, so I'm going to drag in the original .ai file. Going to do my save as AI, then call this Vectorpea art, and then file, save more, AI to storage. and save. Okay, so again, I don't need that one, I don't need that one, I don't need the background. And here's the artboard tool, and maybe I should do Command 0, Command plus to keep zooming in. Oh, well, I guess the artboard. Okay, so I'm zoomed in as far as I can go and still see everything. All right, so I clicked on the artboard tool. You don't get a snap, so you do have to be kind of careful. It's okay if you mess it up a little. All right, and then when you're done with the artboard tool, switch to the selection tool. Command S to save. And so now I should have a couple versions. All right, so originally I tried recoloring the artwork kind of within these colors, but it didn't work so well. It's kind of tedious. So let's try just importing it into Adobe Express both ways, right? So, okay, so I've got Adobe Express homepage, and I got two new vector graphics. I got the Vectorpea art.ai and the recolored wine AI. And so I bring it in onto that plus button on the left. And so I can do place as a linked image, which means I have to go back to edit the .ai file. But let's say we just want to stay in Adobe Express. So I'm going to do convert it to layers in Adobe Express. All right, so it's 22 layers. It's all recolored. You know, you can bring in your Lobo and resize Lobo. And then add some text. Add text. Move it down. I don't know, you can try searching for a different font. Like if you type in the word wine, then sometimes you start to get like wine related fonts. So I don't know. So let's do all caps, summer, enter 2025. And get out of this recommended fonts. Go to alignment, go to color and sample a color. You could use a blue. I'm just going to choose that white or off-white. And make it a little bigger so it's a little easier to read. All right, so pretty cool. That let me recolor the artwork. All right, so let's go to the other example, which was the Vectorpea example. So back to the Express homepage, and then I got convert, second option. Oh, fail. Was it not saved? Okay, so it liked this one, but it did not like Vectorpea. And it's saved. File, save as AI, desktop. Yeah, replace it, sure. Okay. Let's try one more time, and then I'll try one more kind of debug. Okay, so it's saved a second time. It's probably not going to work, because why would it work? It didn't work the last time, yeah. All right, so something's going on. I don't know, maybe it's some of the non-visible stuff, right? Like you can see I still have this other stuff. Might be kind of confusing, so I'm going to drag it to the trash. I'm going to drag the other group that we're not using to the trash. And I'm going to drag the white background to the trash. Okay, one more save. Command S, save. And now it should, let me try one more time. Hey, all right. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Lobo. Again, it was easier for me to work in here than it was in Vectorpea to do the recoloring. But you basically have 22 recolors to do, right? So all these layers are different parts. I'm going to leave the wine glass as is. So there's like the fingers of the hand. But you could select like the background red and then eyedropper and select that medium blue, right? So you basically have to go through and find each piece and recolor it by selecting it. So like the darker pieces are going to be the darker blue of Lobo. So yeah, one at a time, kind of tedious, but once you get going, it doesn't take that long. Just make sure you select the right colors. And then, so the darker ones, I know I want to be the dark color, but at some point you have to pick either a couple of other colors. All right, so I want to do a custom color. Whoop, I missed. All right, let's find a couple more. I'll get that last one as dark. And then you do the others as a medium blue or white. You just have to do it 22 times, right? So it does get a little tedious, but still kind of cool. You can bring in these vector graphics and recolor them. It's really fast and easy with Illustrator, but it's still doable with this new format of, there we go, with the way to import Illustrator files into Adobe Express. All right, so have fun with it. Find some cool artwork that you want to recolor, and I look forward to seeing your work.